Hello. It is going to be Mono versus Prag. Mono has a live Itachi, including part 2 knowledge. And then Prag has Orange Mask Obito, specifically whenever he was in the Akatsuki. You can find us at discord.gg/Enten. Let's keep it cordial, guys. Have a good debate.
All right,
Shut
guys.
the fuck up, yo,
All
man.
right, so we're gonna be affirming that a live Itachi is above Obito. White mask. I mean, orange mask Obito specifically. So, do you have an argument for that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you agree that Obito admits just blatantly that if Itachi, or so, okay, do you agree that first Obito admits that Itachi is a nuance and
That's
that
the argument.
Itachi would have, no, and that Itachi would have killed him if he knew his secret and
If
that
you
he
knew.
stated it to be invincible in the new book?
No, okay, yeah, okay. Yeah, there's three things, right? I agree that he stated that Itachi could kill him, but that's for external reasons. You would need to prove
What?
that it's in reference. Yeah, it's insane. Yeah, he would just leak his secrets. Yeah, he's a double agent. He would just leak his secrets over everywhere, and then he has access to like almost everything, to everything, and it would just ruin his plans. It wouldn't do much. So that could just be due to external factors. And then after that, I deny that he's invincible. What's I mean, it's stated in the data book, but it's just not true.
So, okay, so for the first thing, you keep saying it's for external factors.
I said it
What
could be for
external?
external factors.
What implies that? What external
The
factors could
fact that
kill? Oh, hold up.
Hitachi is,
God dang,
I
this
just
actually wasn't even done.
nigga, you asked me a question. Do you expect me to
I
answer it or
wasn't
no?
done with the question.
Okay, keep asking the question, bro.
Yeah. So, what's like, bro? You didn't need to cut me off. Yeah. So, like I was saying, you were talking about external factors. What implies the external factors, and what?
Yeah.
How would
So
these external
one.
factors kill him? Because this statement is
No,
talking about
okay,
him being
stop,
dead.
just stop. And that's a week that could just be a reference to a weak Obito, even if he took the statement at face value. But it's like this, right?
What? No.
Okay,
Okay. No,
stop,
now,
stop. You asked me a question, you
now we're
expect me to
gonna.
answer it. You okay, I'm just gonna talk over you. I don't care at this point. Right? Okay, so the external factors are one, that Itachi is a double agent. Okay. Okay. How could this
It's
get
not an
how could
argument.
no, stop, stop. The external factors that Itachi is the double agent. Okay, how could being a double agent kill Obito? Right? It could do this indirectly, right? It could ruin his plans. The Akatsuki could turn against him. Anything could literally happen. As all Itachi has to do is flip it around like this, right? And you're forgetting something really important, right? Itachi is holding the most broken genjutsu of all time in Naruto up to the point. So it's like
How the
these.
fuck is wrong?
You said what? I'm lying.
Ignore him. Ignore him.
So it's that too. So those are the external factors, and those are literally. He talks about how Itachi could foil all his plans because of how
Okay. So
stupid he
yeah,
is.
we're gonna have to.
I think his intellect plays a part in this. And I also don't think the statement would even be in reference to an Orange Mask Obito, because I think Orange Mask Obito is at least performatively better. He has feats on the right Kage. I think you agree that he scales above base guy. If you do, then base guy just scales above Itachi. It's stated. Base guy is equal to or above a base Itachi. So, I mean, no, base guy is equal to or above a live Itachi. So, through that line of scaling, through both,
Yo,
he would
what are
actually
you
be
talking?
above
Wait, hold
Itachi.
on. This is a shotgun. What the fuck, bro? You're going on
It's,
like three different
it's
points.
not a
Just no.
shot
We're gonna.
only, but
Yes,
that's
you
not a
are. You're
shot.
talking
I'm
about
gonna,
guy scaling, bro.
I'm
What are
gonna
you
address
doing?
that. I'm gonna address
Wait,
that. That's why it's
what?
not a
No,
shot.
not doing this.
Stop. You
No,
made a
wait,
claim, and
no,
I'm
we're
gonna
not.
attack it. Can we get
A
moderation? Can you
claim?
shut him the
No,
fuck
we need
up?
a. Yeah, we need a moderator. You need to get
Yeah.
muted. Your
Okay.
point
Yeah.
was
Mute him.
done. You're
I
talking
was
about
talking.
guy.
I
This
was
is a whole
talking.
nother point.
It's not. It's
What?
literally not. And even if it is, it's
You're
just one point.
scaling guy,
Just
retard. What the
can
fuck do you
someone
mean?
mute
It's
this
not a whole
nigga?
nother
Can someone mute
point.
the retard? Please put him on a leash. Please put him on a leash.
No, don't mute me. Mute
Okay,
him. He's literally
one, one.
shotgunning. What
Stop.
is
Just let
this?
me talk. It's not a shotgun because it
You're.
was. It's only. Stop. Stop. Just calm yourself. Okay.
Are y'all niggas
It's
not
only one
listening?
rebuttal, and the reason I'm scaling Guy is because it gets him over Itachi. It's only one point. A
He
shotgun.
just
A
admitted that
shotgun.
he's making a new
Stop.
point.
Stop. A
Why are
shotgun
y'all
is when
letting
you.
him talk?
A
What, like, just
shotgun is.
mute him. He just admitted it verbatim now. Okay, great. So, like I was saying, and unmute El Ciente. Like, what the fuck? Okay, you, bro, this was just ramble. So you keep saying, how is this in reference to Orange Mask Obito? When he makes the statement, the statement is it's present tense. He's talking about him right then and there. right after Amaterasu was placed. The reason why it didn't work was because Itachi didn't have full knowledge of him yet. But that's the problem. So that in conjunction with him being a nuisance and him being having that invincible databook statement implies a narrative of him being above the Akatsuki. And then for the external factors like him being a double agent and it fucking up his plans, obviously yes, it would fuck up his plans and it would make Obito's plan for the infinite Tsukiyomi to be harder. I agree to that. But that does not imply that he would die. So you need to show me something within the series that would imply that that specific reason would make him die. Because all we have is a direct, like the direct implication that we get from the scan that I just sent is that the Amaterasu would have killed him. All right. So,
Okay, so can you mute him
yeah.
now? Because I don't know why I just got mod abuse. But like I was saying, because I was talking before this nigga, he brought up a lot of things. But let's address the first thing. One, the scan is not present tense because in that very scan, Itachi is dead. So it can't be present tense. The nigga is dead, right? And I'm making a counter interpretation of your claim. Your claim is okay, look, he says that Itachi could kill him if he wanted to. Okay, cool. That's the claim on the table, right? I brought up external factors. I brought up how Itachi is a double agent and how this could possibly lead to the organization turning against Obito. And if the whole Akatsuki turns against Obito, then they're gonna kill him, right? So there's multiple ways this could end bad for him and end in his life,
This is just
right, being
headcanon.
taken away. You didn't listen. It's
This is
just
headcanon. You need an
oh,
implication within the series that
stop.
would imply that
I
Obito's
got
not of
muted.
any of
I
this.
got muted. I got muted though, right? I got muted though, right? Like what, bro? What the fuck? And then two, right? Two, that's not headcanon, right? It's all a counter interpretation, which is stipulated by the manga, right? And your implication is not the only information we have. Because this doesn't even build up a narrative consistency via the points I brought up, right? How Orange Mask slowly tells scales over base guy scales over Itachi. Now the reason that's not a shotgun, right? Because a shotgun gets scalloping, you bring up multiple points, right? And you try to overwhelm the person. But that's not what I did. All I did was bring up a 1 point. So for me to shotgun, you have to prove that I didn't intentionally do that. Because I literally didn't. I didn't shotgun you at all. But I don't even think you could bridge the narrative consistency because it's not narratively consistent because Orange Mask Kobe tells scales about people were shorter than Itachi. And the scan's not even present tense because Itachi is dead. Let's look at the scan you
Okay, you're
sent.
repeating yourself. Can I like just
Stop,
talk?
stop. I
You
was about to
said
explain the
this was
scan.
the first
Stop.
sentence in
How
your
did I
rebuttal.
get muted? I got muted though, right? Can you shut him the fuck up? But okay, let's look at this game. He probably sees it so that the Amaterasu will automatically activate when you saw my Sharingan gun. So that was Itachi's last trick. Too bad it didn't work, or else I would be dead. Right. Well, thankfully Itachi didn't know about everything about me. Itachi must have been. He would. This could literally just mean he would have set up countermeasures, right? Because he has connections with the Shinobi Agency, right? He could literally just set up efficient countermeasures that could lead to Obito's death. Not only could the Akatsuki turn on him, right? He could set these traps up in place, which we know Itachi's capable of because he's probably the smartest person in the verse, right? And this could literally be in reference to like, what's it called? Prep time. Like, I don't see why, like, we would even take this statement at face value because it's not even there to be consistent. And it doesn't work in conjunction because the nigga's dead. The nigga Chachi's dead in this panel. So I don't know
Bro,
how you see. I don't know how you're trying to bridge it and say that it's bad post tense because the nigga's dead. He's
all right, you're
dead.
hilarious, gang. Are you done? Like,
Actively referencing
can I
him, bro.
talk, bro? All right, Jesus Christ. Okay, everything you just said is genuine headcanon. Nothing in the scan implies that when Obito was referencing that scan, that he was going to be talking about, or that what he was worried of was because Itachi was going to bring in some secret agency to fucking kill him, or that, or some other bullshit that you brought up. I don't know.
Yo.
There's literally just nothing in the scan or in the narrative that implies that Itachi would have ever done that or that was going to be a possibility. Like, this is literally just headcanon. You're just making shit up. Damn, like literally all your interpretations have no backing to it. There's nothing in the series that implies it. Nothing within the text that you sent that implies it. You're just bringing out random bullshit connections from the story and saying that it could potentially be within the scan. That's not how that works, bro. If you're going to bring up other bullshit within the series, you need to show me something within the scan or within the context of the scan that connects that scan to the other bullshit in the series. You can't just say that, oh, because it's bullshit in the series, that, like, no, bro, that's not how that works. And then for the present thing, it's not present tense because Itachi is dead. Are you retarded? Are you reading the scan? The oh my gosh, Jesus Christ. When he says I, right? When I say it's present tense, I'm not talking about Itachi. Itachi is not the subject there, dumbass. It's or sorry, it's not the object that they're talking about it. It's Obito. Obito is talking, dummy. Obito is talking in present tense because what had just happened is that Itachi had just set up a plan to defend Sasuke from Obito. And Obito literally admits that if Itachi had just knew a little bit more, then he would have died. So yeah, we could just move on from this point, and then we could get on to the because you the invincible point because that's what you made, and then after that we can go on to the guy point.
Right. So for one, this nigga just helps my point. Let me tell you why. Right? Because Itachi had prepped, he had defense mechanisms set up to counter Obito. And the nigga Obito in the same scan that this retard sent says if he just knew a little bit more about me, if he had a little bit more knowledge, right? I want to okay. So and by the way, saying it's headcanon doesn't actually attack the argument of what's being made there. Because it's literally just it's just a counter interpretation, right? A counter interpretation that you have to defeat. And so far, you calling it headcanon doesn't attack it. That's just moving away from the point. That's doing anything but attacking the point. And you're saying it's not narratively stipulated, but you set the scan, and the scan says he had defense mechanisms set up over time. He had this whole big ass plan to stop Obito. So okay, let's say this, right? If he could just kill Obito at any time and it was that easy, then why the fuck have the defense mechanism set up, sir? Okay, that's one thing, right? With what that needs to be addressed. Okay, two, how he said this headcanon. It's not headcanon because we have implications from the manga. One of the scans is that you said, right? Okay, Itachi is a double agent. We have connections throughout the story that we can combine to make this interpretation, which you can't defeat other than calling it headcanon. That doesn't defeat it at all. So I don't know why you just tried to skip to that point after you got all that in. But you referring back to the scan and laying it face value is this question begging, right? Because I'm giving this counter interpretation. I'm saying, why take this at face value? Or why say, okay, if they were just in a fight, he's just gonna kill him, right? And kill him through what metrics, right? Like through strength, through hacks abilities, right? And by the way, you never attacked how this literally could just be due to how he has Kotsumoto Kami. And then you just asked me, okay, how did these external facts, how could these kings kill him? Which I gave you ways in which it could kill him or lead to his defeat. And his plan's being fucked, right? And that's what you asked me to do. Okay, that was the burden you placed on me. I feel that, right? So, okay, I just want to make sure you know this, right? You're affirming, right? You have to prove what you're saying is the case, right? And I'm actually going to give you another counter example, right? Okay, cool. You think Itachi could just kill Obito at any minute. Okay, that's cool, right? But, oh, okay. Itachi is weaker than Raikage. The same Raikage that Obito is able to react to and it's just faster and blatantly scales to. And so I don't see how you could be building this implication, right? Because this could literally your scan helped my interpretation. You're a dumbass. You're a dumbass. So in all, you question begged because you just retreated back to the scan and taking it at face value, whether my interpretation, right? You have to think. You have to think, sir. Right. So just looking at the scan at face value isn't gonna do anything for you because you're not actually overcoming, you're not attacking the interpretation. You're saying it's headcanon. That's not how it works. But I'm not just making these interpretations out of fucking thin gas. The interpretations are being built up upon other things in the manga, which are being used to draw a certain conclusion. Like, I'm not like, what? And yeah, we can skip. Yeah, because you wanted to do that. So now that I got
Oh, thank you. All right, bro. Oh my goodness gracious, Malaysia. All right, so bro, a lot of fucking points. Think about what he said. So yeah, the easy thing. So you were saying that if it was such an easy thing for Itachi to kill him, or if Itachi really could have killed Obito, then why didn't he? Like you mentioned just earlier, there's a lot of nuance to the thing. So Itachi has other plans other than just needing to kill Obito, and I never said it'd be an easy fight. So I actually think it would be a hard fight. But Itachi has other priorities like saving the village and saving Sasuke, or making sure the village is safe and making sure Sasuke is safe and all of these other things. But so those can all be the explanation as for why he didn't fight Obito. Him not fighting Obito is not evidence for him being weaker than Obito, or him, or the statement not being true. And then for the, you said, why should we accept it at face value? Okay, so normally we're going to accept the text at face value unless the context, unless there's further context given, right? And I'm saying that you have not given further extra context. So there's no reason for me to assume that the words in that I'm reading are going to change their definitions, or change their usage. Like there's no reason why I would think that. So I'm just going to view it through the normal definitions, like the normal way to view the scan. And then you talked about the Raikage shit again. That's a whole nother point. We can do that after. But yeah, we can move on to, or no, hold up, no. You said the reason why he might be a threat or Itachi might be a threat to Obito might be other abilities like Kotsu Amano Kaze or whatever the fuck it's called. That doesn't matter, bro. The point is that I'm making is that Itachi has a narrative seemingly which is above Obito's. So even if it's not directly because of Amaterasu, which we know it isn't because it just failed in that instance, doesn't mean that Itachi doesn't have the abilities or the capabilities to defeat Obito, which is why Obito viewed him as a threat and was glad when he died. But yeah, we can move on to the what was it? The data book point? I know there was another point too, but I kind of forgot. Looking.
This is like GSU debated trouble. Shit ass.
I mean, I could just go to another call if you want to debate someone else.
If I could just give my response, bro, because it's like this, right? I gave you reason not to take it at face value. Why? Because there's external explanations rather than the explanation that you're posing, which seem that better explanatory power. Now, two, I don't even grant the defeasibility. And even if I did, right? Even if I did, it doesn't even work because there's defeaters in front of your face and counter examinations which you haven't accounted for. You're literally just dodging all the interpretations and saying, I wouldn't take. There's no reason for me not to take that face value if there's no contradictions. I wouldn't even grant that, right? So you need to motivate that. And then two, right? There's defeaters and motivations in your face, right? Because you're making it seem okay. You say it's just hard to fight, but in the rec, you're saying okay, Itachi can just kill Obito flat out, right? And by the way, I want to highlight this: the only reason the Amaterasu failed in the first place is because Obito used Izanagi, right? So that's two, right? And if this is the most important thing, you said that there was nuance to the statement. If there's nuance, then you probably wouldn't take it at face value, given that there's other things that need to be taken into account, which came out your own mouth. It came out your own mouth, bro. It literally came out of your own fucking mouth. You said there was nuance. Okay, cool. If there's nuance, then it changes it changes the place you're going to, right? Because okay, you need to navigate through the nuance. You need to account for the nuance, which you're not doing. You're kind of just going away from the nuance. You're just saying, okay, let's place this at face value because there's no contradictions. No, I don't even know why to allow for that. And then two, right? You're still not defeating how these are ways in which Itachi could have just gotten Obito's way, right? Because okay, if it's a case that it's called Kami, right, or something like that, then it's literally, Obito could blitz this nigga and kill him. He could take his head off a Kami. It could be something like that, right? If it's a hack ability, that's not going to help you to where you're scaling him, right? And I don't even think he could. I don't think the statement is true because of the feats that are displayed that build up a narrative consistency that shows us otherwise. I don't think there's narrative consistency other than you begging the question, which you didn't attack. You kind of just fucking duty dawdled around it. That you were begging the question because you go back to the scan and you go back to taking it at face value. But you did add something new this time. You added, okay, there's no contradictions of defeaters, right? These are performative defeaters. Okay, great. I show you, okay, I give you external explanations rather than what your explanation is, which would be taking the panel at face value, right? Okay, given there's external explanations, there's some now nuance, which you take these interpretations and you see, okay, you let me which one's more probable, which you can't seemingly do other than just fucking ad homing the interpretation. Like you're not doesn't help you. So I did not at face value.
I'm all right, bro. Jesus Christ. Misinterpreted when I said the nuance thing. The nuance thing was in response to why I didn't Itachi just defeat Obito. And then okay, so for the face value thing, no, I'm not saying that the reason why we should accept face value or accept interpretations like like the default interpretation and its face value interpretation or denotation is not due to the fact that there's no contradiction. The reason why I'm saying that is because that's the primary definition. So by definition of a denotation, when you're going to be interpreting that word, that's going to be the most popular usage of said word. So just based off that, the likelihood of it going to be that definition rather than some other definition is higher than yours. We can move on. We can move on to the data book point. Um, Everything else about Obito and all of that, bro, those are separate points, bro. We can get onto that later, not right now.
I don't know why I got muted during my talking time, but you see what this nigga tries to give the last point and then conclude on the point. Yeah, no, we're gonna talk about this point until we both reach a neutral state in which we feel good to move on. But I don't feel like that because you're just trying to fucking respond and then conclude. Okay, great. Let's say how much stuff did this nigga just say no unto? Like 50%, right? And okay, you could even say we could grant that the probability could be lowered, right? But it could still be the case, and but you're not eliminating that, right? Okay, and I disagree that it's fucking lowered, right? Um, and you can prove that's the primary definition. The primary definition for what? Because I don't even think that's true. So you could just prove it's the primary definition, right? It could be less normative and still be correct, and which it seems to be given the data that we're given within the manga. So I could probably, if I conceded to it being less probable, and we have this data and the data counteracts our interpretation, I could still be correct. It just be less probable. That's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's like this, right? You're saying, okay, there's nuance to why Itachi didn't just kill Obito. Okay, it's because Itachi had plans. Okay, why can't that just work vice versa, right? And you're going around from the point, and that's not problem because look, Itachi had defense mechanisms set up for Obito, and the only reason it did not work is because Obito had an ability no one knew about. But the defense mechanism would have worked otherwise. Now you have to think, why is he putting defense mechanisms in place if there's no nuance, right? So obviously you can't take it at face value when you're not accounting for the external things which you need to account for, which is just missing. But yeah, I mean, if you wanted to move on from the point, so we can gladly do that. But I don't know why I got muted from my time, and I think I adequately responded to everything he said, and he just went circular, and the nigga didn't like what? But okay, yeah. So yeah, we can move on from the point.
No, 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 we're
Cause
not moving on, bro.
yeah, because yeah, I see
So
what you want to do. You wanted to
the burden
respond
that
and
you
then try
just
to move on.
asked, which was just that prove the denotation is the primary definition. By definition, what a denotation is the primary or literal meaning, bro. That's literally what it means.
Question begging.
Uh, it's an analytic truth. What the fuck do you? All right, bro. Whatever, bro. And
Okay,
then
can you prove that? Wait, can you prove that it's analytic? Because you could just do
yeah,
this. I could do
bro, I
something
gotta
like
answer
this.
that. Like, this
I
nigga is retarded, bro. Like, what are we doing, bro? And then what else was this nigga saying, bro? He just says a whole lot of nothing, bro. I genuinely forgot what he said after, bro. You can unmute him real quick so he could repeat his point.
oh no, I don't feel obligated to. I mean, this is gonna look bad for you because you didn't respond and you had enough time. Because literally everyone in the fucking channels, they're saying Prag's been repeating itself for the last 5 to 10 minutes, trying to get this nigga to understand, right? So you've had 5 to 10 minutes to respond to everything I'm saying adequately, which you haven't done because all you've done so far is beg the question, look at the scan at face value
Wait, so
without
do you want to? Okay, then
without
do you want to just
without
move on
income
though? So,
without
so all
income.
right, let's get
Yeah, we
into.
can. Yeah, we can.
Oh,
Yeah, we can.
cool.
That's
So
fine.
now, do you want to get into the data book statement when it says
Yeah,
invincible?
and you
Because you
didn't prove
said
that
that
it was
statement is false.
analytically true, by the way. But you said what?
Okay. You want me to prove his analytical? Here, I'll just send you
I
the
mean, no, you
definition
bet you
so I can
already
see
agreed to
what
move
it is.
on. Don't backtrack. You bet the question. It's okay. But okay, yeah,
Alright,
we can move on to the next
I
point.
guess, bro.
Okay, yeah. So what's the next point?
Hold on, I'm
On
still
that
on
you
some of the
over
definition of
Orange Mask Obito
demutation.
goes over base guy over Itachi.
You said what?
Hello?
No, we're
Yeah.
going into the data book point.
Oh, the data book point on how he's invincible. Yeah, I already have critiques to that, like very obvious critiques.
Okay, so what would be your critique then?
Okay, so one, invincible in reference to what? Obviously, this
What?
probably is just figurative. And then three, the
What?
most reason why it don't stop, bitch. The most reason why it's figurative is because you have the data. And what did the data lead you to? Not that he's actually invincible, because we see that there are people stronger than him. And usually, what it means to be invincible is to not be overcome in battle, not be defeated. But we see that's not true because he has strong opponents. Sage Mode Kabuto beat the fuck out of him. What's it called? Who else beat the fuck out this nigga? He he died while he was fighting. Actually, I don't even need. Even Sasuke was putting in that work. What the fuck? It's like this, right? You have two scans. I don't even know why the fuck you would try to bring this up, right? Okay, if he's invincible and what it means to be invincible is to not be overcome in battle, then why was he overcome in battle? If you say he's not overcome in battle by Sasuke, that doesn't respond to my point. Because the point here, or what I'm saying, is why was he overcome at all? He died to sickness, but if you're invincible, you shouldn't be overcome in battle. But that's what happened. He ended
Okay,
up
are you
dying.
done?
There's stronger people than him. And I also I want to see the statement as well. I just want to see the statement.
Okay, I'll look for it. But yeah, so we can both agree then that yeah, it's figurative. I'm not saying he's literally invincible because we see him die. But even if it's figurative, the meaning of the word doesn't just suddenly disappear. Like there's still some sort of meaning within the word invincible. So even if they're not saying that he's literally incapable of dying, the fact that they're calling him something like invincible proves to show that within the series they view this guy as a person who is incredibly hard to defeat, which would be
That's
the
an
point of
I
the
have an issue
statement.
with that already. This like a this yeah, I'll just respond to this real quick.
What?
This is just a chronological issue, right? Okay, Itachi can be strong up until this point, right? And by the way, Itachi's being gaslit by Black Zetsu. Black Zetsu saying, "Oh, he's invincible." All this, blah, 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 blah. And then
What?
okay, then he immediately goes to Glazing Kieran. Oh, Kieran's so fast, the fastest thing I've ever seen. Nigga, like I don't. And if
Have
it's
you
figurative,
watched
right?
Naruto?
You're saying them calling him invincible means something, right? What did he do to earn the title? Okay, he could be one of the strongest up to this point, but up to this point, Obito's full power wasn't revealed. He still had more to show, right? And that was Itachi's endpoint. That was his last arc, right? He didn't have any more to show. Obito did. Orange Mask Obito did. Orange Mask Obito lived farther than him. So I have an issue with you using a chronological statement, right? At this point, he could seem invincible, and that could literally, right? Invincible insofar as his Susanoo, how his Susanoo seemingly has no weaknesses, right? Because I'm pretty sure that the statement talks about how his Susanoo is invincible rather than him. Um, so if you look at the statement, which are you probably do you have it? Because
I'm
if you
looking
have it now,
for it.
just if it's just a yes or no.
Not right now. I'm looking for it.
Okay,
For it.
great. All right, so you can find that statement because I want you to prove he says that. But it's like this, right? If it's figurative, you're saying, okay, there's reasons, yeah, yada 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 yada, boom, bada, bada. But it's a chronological thing. It could literally just be the case that Obito has more to go and Itachi doesn't. So this could literally just be to hype his final battle up. I don't see what the issue with that is. But you can find that statement though, bro.
Got you.
And if
Got
it's
you.
about the Yardimir, I think he just fucking blitzes him before he does it.
Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Bro. Is this nigga lie to me?
You can't find the statement because it doesn't exist. And all because it's probably a data book statement, right? If it does exist, I want the raws and I want it translated.
And you would have to prove why I gotta do all that.
Okay, yeah. If it's a mistranslation, it's obviously not an accurate depiction of what you're trying to pose. What you're trying to pose here
Yeah,
is
why
that
would it be a
words.
mistranslation?
Stop. With the words here, I didn't say that it was. I'm just saying that it could be. If it's a case that it could be because mistranslations happen very often, then yeah, your translation could literally just be faulty and they never use the word invincible at all. Then that's obviously problematic because the chain you're trying to use is okay. There's reasons as to why they called him invincible in the first place. But if invincible never pops the fuck up, then their whole point goes to dog shit because they never called him that in the first place.
Does anybody here do Naruto?
Nope, you don't
Yeah,
get no
so
outside help. Drag your ass back here. Nope, no, you trying to fucking scan.
Take a log in. Quit disrespecting the people like that, gang.
and then what's it called? Just because you could have something doesn't mean that that's
I'm just no, yeah, I'm
it
not
doesn't
saying
mean
that it.
that's like a valid reason for skepticism. Like you could be a snake that's in
No,
your brain or
it's
some
no the
shit. Like that
reason. Yeah,
doesn't mean.
the reason. Yeah, it is
But
a
like you
valid reason
could
for
just
skepticism.
concede and you just forgot.
Yeah,
Like
and
there's a
that's
lot of
not what I did.
possibilities. You need
That's not
to.
what I did. But it is
Yeah, I
possible.
mean,
I grant you that it's
it could
possible.
be. It
But what's
could though,
being
and you just
said here,
didn't know. That's what I'm
is that
saying
there
though.
is
You need an
also
actual
probability
reason
involved.
for your
And
skepticism.
given the fact that there's probability involved because
What is probably that?
mistranslations happen a lot, especially with data books. A lot of data books get mistranslated because some of the kanjis aren't put in place
Yeah, I
together.
don't
Some of the
accept that.
wrong kanjis are used. So it's not even like I'm being a radical skeptic. The basis
You
of
literally
skepticism
are,
is the
bro.
fact that it's literally probable that there's a mistranslation, given the fact that a lot of other data books are mistranslated, like the one where it says that Kakashi's omnipotent. If you translate the fucking raws, it never says that. So if it's the case that it could be, right, and you're not accounting for that, then that's an issue because then your point becomes faulty because you're not accounting for what needs to be accounted for. If it's a case that they never mentioned invincible in the fucking first place and your scan is mistranslated, then the point goes to shit because they never did it in the first place. It's very simple. So yeah, I know you don't have the raws. I know you can't find the fucking scan either. So I don't even, and that's your burden of proof. Your burden of proof is to prove that it says this, and then your
Oh,
burden of proof.
I found it. It
Okay,
wasn't a
great.
data book scan. I'm a retard.
Yeah,
It
and
was
yeah,
a
show me the
manga
raws as well,
scan. My bad, dude.
and then show me the raws as well.
For the manga? No.
No, I
What?
said for the okay. Where'd you
No,
get the
no.
scan from?
Bro, I don't think you just listened to what I said. It wasn't a data book scan. It was
Okay, where was the scan from now?
the manga.
The manga. Okay, there can be mistranslation
Okay,
in the manga as
and
well. There's nothing wrong with that.
okay, sure, but you need a valid reason as for why
I
it
just
can be
gave you, I
scanned.
just told you why.
No, you
You,
just
okay, you're on the affirmative, right? You're supposed to prove that it's not X. I'm just throwing out, maybe, hey, maybe if it is X, you're saying I have no valid reasons, but I've laid valid reasons, as insofar as you're not actually
no.
accounting
Your
for whether it
reason
is a
was
mission. I'm just going to talk over you. You don't want to do this. But it's like this, right?
this
If
nigga
you're not
gotta get off this shit.
accounting for it, then it literally, and I told you, it's mistranslations are popular. Mistranslations are very popular and
Bro.
possible, whether it be manga, whether it be data book, whether it be light novel. So if that's the case, and I do have fucking rational reasons to believe that it's the
Bro.
case.
Okay.
So and so
I,
far as proving your point, you haven't done that. So
oh,
okay, we're gonna examine the statement.
Dang, you talk a lot.
This shield
Damn,
Jutsu,
bro, wait,
his shield
okay,
is
you can read in
repelling
your
all his
head, bro.
positive
You can
attacks.
read in your head. Let
No
me respond to
mistake, that shield is
Bro,
another
what is
spirit
wrong,
weapon. It's
bro?
called the Yard of Mirror, and it said he's invincible. This could literally, this could literally just be because he's using a whole new power mechanism that
Okay.
we've never seen. And you also have
Oh,
responded to the chronological point,
I
right?
know. I'm
This point,
trying
this
to,
point.
bitch. You keep
Bitch, I'm gonna
talking.
talk over you. It doesn't matter
Fuck.
if you yell
You've
over
been
me because you're
talking
still
for
gonna get
30.
over
Like,
talk. So
bro,
you should calm your bitch ass
like,
down.
are you
Okay,
autistic?
it's
What
like
is
this,
wrong with you,
right?
dude?
Okay,
We
if it's
get
in
your point. Your
chronological
point is not
order,
that
yeah, I'm just gonna talk over
complex.
you, bitch. I don't give
You
a fuck.
don't need to
You're probably
talk
gonna
this
run out of breath
long,
already.
bro.
But
Just,
if it's like this, right? If
yo,
it's in
this is,
chronological order,
yo, what
then
is
you
wrong?
have to account for that. But you're not doing that because we know
Jesus
Obito
effing
still has
Christ.
a lot more to go. You know, the 5 Kage Summit. Okay, the
Bro,
5. This is before Taka
yo,
fucking Sasuke. Obito's not shown to do anything before this
Stop,
stage.
bro, let me
I mean,
talk, please,
he
bro.
didn't want. He didn't want it. No, he didn't want it to do talking stage.
He's literally repeating the point.
bro. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Not only both of y'all gotta chill. I'm not gonna lie. It's very clear that we gotta check y'all niggas. I'm not gonna lie. No one else even fucking cares about
Bro,
this
just
debate.
force conclusions, bro.
Yeah, I'm
Just
gonna
force
force
conclusions.
conclusions, bro. I'm gonna give y'all 3 minutes, interrupt the time to respond to shit you haven't responded to, the burdens, and then give your conclusions. And I'm not gonna lie,
Tag
you're
talk
not
for
just
10 minutes.
no new points, bro. So I'm gonna give it to Mono first. I ain't gonna lie, like you can address all the shit you didn't get to, give her concluding statements, but after that, no new burns are being applied, bro. I'm not gonna lie, no new information is being applied here as well.
That's so fucking stupid. Okay, for the possibility bullshit, okay, I get it. Yes, possibly there could be an error, bro. That's fine, bro. But this is translated from this manga. This is an official company, bro. So, like, there's no reason as for why I would doubt an official source of the fucking manga. That like they sell this shit. And then, what's it called? The chronological argument. Yeah, that's fine. But the point being is that it still serves its narrative purpose. Zetsu, we know that Zetsu has a deep connection with Obito, even at this point of the series. They talk to each other all the fucking time. I can show that too. And I'm gonna show it, matter of fact, because this nigga's autistic. So we know that Zetsu has like knowledge of Obito. He knows his abilities, knows all of this, and he still makes the statement that he's invincible and whatnot. And he still makes the statement that the Mangekyo or yeah, Tsukiyomi is the most powerful genjutsu, and then the one in the right is the most powerful attack. So this in combination with the fact that Obito said that if he had more information, he would die proves to me that proves to me that Itachi has a better narrative than Obito, especially considering the fact that Itachi has been boasted for having high battle IQ, and we see another character with high battle IQ figure out Kamui. Minato does it. So I'm saying that with this, a character who knows Obito calls him invincible. Obito himself says he would have died if he knows a little bit more, and Itachi has the capabilities of attaining information which could potentially make him beat Obito. I have greater reason to believe that Obito would lose against Itachi. And then let me send the fucking scan that says that, or that shows Zetsu and Obito being together. They literally talk about Itachi. Like that's the crazy part. Hold up. Boop, boop, boop. And Zetsu also tells Obito that Itachi dies. So if you just did not, oh, this is the wrong scan, bro. Bro? Gang, hold up, bro. But that's it. That's my point. I'll just send the scans. He can talk.
Yeah. So in his closer, I'm going to address a few things because almost everything in his closer was new and not added on prior. Okay, great. Let's see what he said in his closer because I wrote it the fuck down. Okay, look. He said in his closer that it was added from an official source, which is in reference to the translation, which he never said in the debate. So he has to prove that, right? And he's showing new scans to further prove his point. But I just want to flag that he never responded to the chain scale. Now, given that you have this chain scale and the chain scale fall through because it wasn't under attack, which is that orange mask we told over base guy and base guys over Itachi, he didn't attack that. He had a chance to do it in his closer and he still didn't do it because obviously the dumb fuck was too busy adding new information to his closer. So he didn't attack any of the chains, right? Okay, the chronological argument is fine. Okay, if the chronological argument is fine, then your point goes to shit and it's not relevant insofar as proving Obito and the Itachi's above Obito. Now, you say, okay, Zetsu's examined Obito. He knows all of his abilities. That's also a new claim which he never established. He never established in the debate, which would also be something he had to prove since he wanted to do other bullshit and that new information. I'm going to do the same to you. So you need to prove he knew about all things. I don't even think he knew that. You would have to prove that. It serves narrative purpose, right? That's also a new claim that he added on, which he never sufficed. And just beg the question because he presupposed that we would take the scan at face value. And he also said that he had greater reasons, but those greater reasons, quote unquote, were contradicted by the data that I put out and the chance code that I put out. So I don't even believe that he had greater reasoning insofar as his reasoning was begging the question, rehearsing, going back to the same statement over and over again. He had a lot of empty burdens on the table which he didn't fulfill. And then let's look at this. Zetsu has a deep connection. We know Zetsu has knowledge of all Obito's abilities. Okay, he would have to prove that. I don't even think he knows that's true. Tsukiyomi is the most powerful genjutsu. I want to see where the fuck he says that because I don't see where he ever does that. And given there's a combustion of evidence, he has a better narrative. Okay, that's a claim I literally denied because there's counteracting data to that claim. So just rehearsing and going back to the claim won't be sufficient. It won't help you. There's another question back. Okay, cool. And it doesn't even add up to narrative consistency because we have greater narrative consistency for Obito, and we have literally very easy chains when they get from there. Knows Obito calls him invincible. Literally, okay. He could literally discard Obito. Obito could literally just not be in his memory right now. And he's like, at this moment, at this very moment, this is something I've never seen before. He looks invincible. Obviously, it could just be hyperbolic. If it's hyperbolic, then the statement doesn't stick. And that it could literally it could be used to boost cinema for all the fuck we know. Okay. I have greater reasons to believe Obito will lose to Itachi. Okay, that's not true, given that he didn't attack any of the chain scales on the table. He also provided new empirics, which those empirics were never brought up in the debate. So if you're adding closures, then almost all of his closer was adding new information. And insofar as the chain scale, he never adequately responded to any of them. So why is there someone moaning from outside my window? Hold up.
What? What is this guy?
I'm done.